Hey there. You ever see a player with like a really nice outfit? I'm talking dripped out from head to toe with mythics, prestige, unobtainables, and then you sit there and wonder like, how broke am I in comparison? Well, in today's video, I'm going to basically be putting it into perspective that even though you guys are playing the same game, you're not playing the same game. Stay with me now, stay with me. Alright, so first we're going to go over a few things. I will be categorizing the levels in tiers. Tier 7 being the lowest, is in the brokest, and tier 1 being the highest. If you guys want to make any suggestions or changes to the list, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe. And let me know which part of the list you're on. Tier 7, play the damn game. Somehow this tier is below a noob. At this stage, your whole inventory is basically equivalent to the bandit boss's eye patch. You literally have zero trading power, and at this stage, your main worry shouldn't even be about getting a fruit or trading, but progressing through the game and actually playing it. Maybe an SP reset or a dark root, and if you just, throw away some money, you can get a devil fruit bag. That might be your strongest trading cards, I suppose. Tier 7 basically means you haven't even played the game. You played the game. Congratulations. We're going to assume that you've at least played the game enough to unlock trading or are like max level. You'd probably have a few drops from boss NPCs while you were leveling up. Maybe Gravito's cape, a sword. You might have 1 or 2 legendary items like a katana, sea beast armor, kraken armor. But essentially, the main issue with this tier is you can't progress too quickly, because how are you supposed to trade and increase your value when all the items you have, everyone else has from literally playing the game? That's the little issue we have here. If you're lucky, you might get your grubby little hands on one of the legendary fruits that are kind of decent at the game, that kind of help make your grinding experience easier. Tier 5, okay. In tier 5, you're basically still broke, but you're happy. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is like, while you don't have anything good, like you may not have any good legendaries or collectibles, the thing is that you're comfortable. You're able to like switch builds without it completely destroying your inventory, I suppose. You might have things that others might want, like maybe picked up like an item that all of a sudden became useful for grinding or something like that. Like Mega Pow blew up in value, but I'm not going to use that because Mega Pow is definitely not tier 5 level. By now you probably have a few legendaries in your inventory. Probably got lucky or, used your brain and traded for it. But most of your wealth is made up of like small items that just make it easier, make the game an easier experience, but you don't, again, have a lot of trading power because most of what you have, others would also have. So you're kind of stuck. Tier 4, Event Demon, is the easiest to get out of, in my opinion. At this point, you either have played a lot of events and gotten a few unobtainables, like through the battle pass or through like Halloween events, Christmas events, or anniversary events. The best thing about this tier is that you get passive income. This is where you unlock passive income, because even if you even if you're not grinding, the items that you'd have after the event keep increasing in value as time passes on. But that's assuming For You doesn't bring those items back. If he does, you're kind of cooked. Like, look at Rapier. The value of that was so high and it got destroyed. For You brought it back 3 times. I'm probably higher tier 4 in my opinion, and low tier 3, somewhere in between there. But yeah, I think I'm around this area. Tier 3, the Grinder. At this stage, it would be difficult to be a free-to-play player. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's doable, but like, do you want to spend that much time on GPO? Yes? Okay. If you get here without spending any money, I genuinely respect the dedication. But at the same time, go outside. Here we're looking at someone with an inventory full of mythical fruits or legendary fruits. They have no problems getting mythicals, legendaries. It's as easy as getting an SP reset. Most at tier 3 wouldn't even look at your trade offer if it's like lower than a Nightfall Shroud, for example. If you're offering anything lower than a Nightfall Shroud value or a mythical chest, maybe a legendary chest, they might just ignore it because it's like, it's below them. You know, they're all so high and mighty. They definitely probably have the collector's titles. It's possible that people in this tier would have Jester Fit and multiple all-seeing eyes. This is higher tier 3, but they could have items like Candy Cane or PCC and other prestige items. In this tier anyways, you would have to at least have one prestige item or an item that's extremely valuable because it was out a while ago. And don't worry, like these types of people will make sure you see that they have these items, you know what I'm saying? They'll make sure you see it. A lot of tier 3 players do tend to get lucky, but it is attainable to grind up to this level. Like realistically, it's possible to get PCC or CC items like that through just grinding the game. Tier 2. At this point, we're getting to the manipulators, if you know what I'm talking about. At this point, there's no real benefit in getting into the type of items these players have. They basically have everything. Like most of the times they'd be trading for collectibles or variants of an item they have. Like remember back in OG GPO where people would trade for Azura, KK armor, stuff like that. They probably have multiple accounts with almost every item in the game. Value of the items in the game is basically what they decided to be. It's possible to reach this area if you're lucky and kind of like, but you have to be smart. Like you can't just get really lucky and then reach this tier. You have to be smart with what you're doing. You really have to know how to trade or put in a lot of hours into grinding. At this point, there's no way you're playing the game free to play. And if there is someone that says they're at this tier and they're free to play, they're lying. Or they're just astronomically lucky because that number is probably higher than ICC. The only items that these players probably don't have is like exclusive items like Marine Cap or hold on, let me pull up the Google Doc. Marine Cap, Marine Cape, or Cool Shades. Those are the items they might not have. But at this point, they basically can get any item they want. Besides those, they might struggle with those, but it's still doable. It's doable, but they might struggle with those ones. Tier 1. At this point, you must have let for you hit because there's no other way. You're just playing the game vibes at this point. The only thing you do in the game now is probably just go to events or go to a trade hub to flex your inventory because you definitely have a lot of influence behind the scenes in GPO servers to be this rich at the game. You basically beat the game. I don't see a point if you're a regular player that keeps playing and you basically have all the exclusive items as well, then I don't know what you're doing, bro. You're playing for vibes, like I said. You beat the game, congratulations. Is it possible to get to tier 1? In my opinion, like through the normal ways, I highly doubt any normal player can get to tier 1. If you have a lot of money you can just blow away and some free time, like if you're rich or something, it's doable. But besides that, I don't think it's possible for a player to get to tier 1.